I've got Rachel with me. Rachel's the mother of a daughter who's 10 years old, and she's interested in finding out a little bit more about SleepTalk. So that's why I've invited her to ask me some questions today. So welcome, Rachel, and what would you like to ask me?
I've always strived to bring my daughter up in a safe and loving environment. So why would there be any benefit for using SleepTalk with her?
That's a really good question, Rachel. And that's the question I get from a lot of parents. It's like, well, I'm already a good parent, why would my daughter have any issues? And yes, I've known you for a while, and I know you are a really good parent, really conscious parent, and you always try to do the best for your daughter. But there's more to it than that. Your daughter's not with you 24/7, and there are all these other influences on her constantly, such things as her peer group at school, maybe her teachers, maybe other relatives, maybe things she sees on the media, and even you sometimes, if you're human like all of us, which I'm sure you are, I know I've done it myself, in moments of frustration, we may have said something to our child which in retrospect we hadn't said, and we can't take it back. The damage is done. But if the child has a firm and loving foundation from which to start, that can just go through as an occasional random comment, and it doesn't do any harm. The other aspect too is it's not just what our children absorb, but before age 5 there is no conscious critical awareness. The child's mind, the subconscious mind, just soaks up information like a sponge without any kind of filtering. So anything that's seen on the media, that's said to them, or they hear and think is directed towards them, they take on board as truth. And this is where a whole lot of our faulty beliefs come from. This is where we develop our foundation for life. And very few of us would have had such a cloistered environment that we have been totally protected from things which have caused us to feel maybe not loved, possibly unlovable, somehow defective, and just not even safe in the world. So there is a lot of stuff impinging on a child apart from what the parents are trying to instill as being a good parent. The other aspect which comes from my experience as a hypnotherapist is that when someone is regressed under hypnosis to find the origin of a presenting problem as an adult, quite often they will go back into the womb. It's very, very common. So it depends on what kind of environment the child had in the womb, in utero, growing there, where there was no filter kind of system. For instance, the child will take on board all the mother's emotional stuff, just totally. For instance, with my own daughter, I'd had 6 miscarriages before her, and I went through that whole pregnancy with her absolutely terrified that I was going to lose her as well. I had zero confidence. Every time I went to the bathroom, I was just terrified, panicking that I'd see blood, which would obviously, signal the end of yet another pregnancy. So it's no wonder, looking back and understanding that she's had higher than normal anxiety levels, which, is now well managed. But she was just picking up my stuff. I've had other clients where there's been physical abuse. The father, for instance, has hit the mother in the stomach while she's been pregnant. And that all goes through to the child. So all this stuff that happens in utero is critically important to the belief set that's established for the child, from as early on as they're a person. So, does that answer your question?
Well, it seems it really doesn't matter how conscious you are as a parent. Oh, there's so many outside influences, but there's also your own subconscious self that your child can take on those emotions and feelings without those filters. And so I'm seeing, what I'm feeling is that the child can become more resilient and safer
Absolutely.
Within themselves for life and what it presents.
Yeah, I mean, the whole purpose behind SleepTalk is to instill at the deep subconscious level strong foundational beliefs of feeling loved, lovable and secure in life. And that creates that basis for high self-esteem and emotional resilience, so that as adults we make better choices for a start and have happier, healthier lives.
We all need a good foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what else would you like to ask me?
Well, would you be working directly with my daughter?
No, this is where I work to train the parents in how to do the SleepTalk process. I don't work at any stage directly with the children. In fact, I don't see the children at all, but I train the parents how to do the process. Then I'm in very regular contact with the parents to make sure that they're doing the process as taught, exactly as taught, and sticking with the process, because it's not just doing it once or twice. It's that commitment to do the SleepTalk process each night over a period of time, and then that's when the changes take place.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
I really would.
There's so many case studies that are available on my website, and consultants from around the world have been using this for over 40 years now, so there's so many case studies behind that shows the amazing results. The other thing which is really cool is that the ones that have had SleepTalk themselves as children, maybe 30, 35 years ago, and now using SleepTalk with their own children because they were so impressed with, how it has helped them.
It just sounds like a really beautiful process for a parent to give to a child too.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful, and the parents benefit as well. It's empowering for the parents too.
And I'm really interested, where, you're a very talented hypnotherapist, and I've worked closely with you. Why have what's different about using hypnotherapy with the children, and instead of using SleepTalk? Okay,
now as a mum, obviously your daughter at age 10 is a little bit older than a lot of the kids that we work with SleepTalk. SleepTalk is suitable for children basically from 6 months to 16 years. I'm sure you can remember quite well. I can remember very well with my own daughter how fidgety and wriggly and everything she was. So with hypnotherapy, even though with older children hypnotherapy has amazing results, with younger children you have the issue of trying to keep the kids still in one place, not fidgety and focused, because hypnotherapy works when people are focused and concentrating on what's being said. If someone's flipping and flopping all over the place and peeking out and all these distracting things, they're not going into that zone of being receptive to doing work with hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is different to SleepTalk in as much as hypnotherapy often uses the power of suggestion and persuasion, whereas with SleepTalk it's much more about treating the subconscious mind as a computer. You're giving direct instructions to the computer. It's not a persuasive kind of technique. They are just action steps for this computer to do, which makes it quite different to normal hypnotherapy. Also, another beautiful benefit of SleepTalk and the consistency of doing the 2-minute process each night is that depending on which text you read, some texts say it takes 21 days to change a belief, others anything up to 40 days to change a belief. So when you're doing this night after night with your child, you're getting the core beliefs change within the system, and the foundation statements of SleepTalk are very precise. They've been tweaked and proven over 40 years to be very beneficial, so that these are the ones that go in that affect the core belief system for life. So that's why it's very powerful, and that's how it's also different to hypnotherapy in its application. There is some overlap. It's an auto-suggestion technique, but it is also quite different, and you can do it with children of any age, up to 16. Whereas normal hypnotherapy, that wriggly factor is very frustrating for a hypnotherapist to try and work with.
Well, to be able to do that, for 2 minutes a night, it's so beneficial, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I am a busy person, and I we all are. And at that time of night, parents are, well, if they're anything like me, that's where I start to shut down.
Oh, yeah.
So, what time commitments are there to?
It's just purely 2 minutes a night.
Wow.
Now, if you've got multiple children under 16, the Sleep Talk process is applied individually for each child. So it's 2 minutes per night per child. And that's it. So it's really simple. You're trained how to bring the child to the correct brainwave frequency easily so that you can administer the Sleep Talk statements and they'll go directly into the subconscious mind. And a lot of parents report back to me that it feels like a really special bonding time.
Yeah,
even though the child is asleep.
Yeah.
Just you saying these loving statements to your child, and you're also hearing those statements back for yourself. And if you've got any of your own inner child parts that still need healing, as probably most of us have, it's a beautiful healing for yourself too. So it's empowering for you, and it's giving your child the most beautiful gift that you could imagine for life.
Yeah, I can feel that. And to be able to actually say those words every night to your child, because we are busy, we tend to forget. And, it really doesn't matter how well you feel you're parenting, just to be able to vocalize your love for your child and have an input in them growing their foundations and becoming a stronger person and a more peaceful, it sounds like more peaceful within that.
Yeah, they are.
It actually sounds beautiful. I want someone to sleep talk me.
So thank you very much, Rachel. Hopefully I've been able to answer your questions. And hopefully I've answered, or Rachel and me, we've combined to answer some questions for you as well. So I would be delighted to work with you further and answer any questions that you might have. So please feel free to use the contact form on the Unconditionally Loved website, and you'll find lots more information too about Sleep Talk on the website. So thank you very much.